We live in a world of industrial agriculture and supermarkets. We eat processed food and microwave dinners. It's easy for us to forget about the basis of our food source, which of course is a farm. Believe it or not, they do still exist. And I don't mean the huge commercial ones you see along highways. I mean a small local farm. What is it like to run a farm in a world of industry and business? I visited Harley Farms in Pescadero, California. Dee Harley, the owner and founder of the farm, began with her story.
I decided to go into farming, I think, by default, if you will. We live on an old cow dairy farm that was built in 1910, and I used to look out of the window and think, oh, it would be so nice to use it for what it was originally built for. And so I met this woman who had some goats, and I bought some goats from her. So then I started renovating the lower half of the original hay barn, which was a dump. You know, and we built a building in a building and created the cheese making, the dairy.
Sam is a tour guide at Harley Farms as well as a good friend of Dee's.
And she started the goat farm with the 6 goats from the friend Nancy, who had the dairy before, and Noreen Sims, who was a bartender at Duard's, and I were her first investors. So, needless to say, she's come tenfold since then.
Harley Farms now has over 200 goats and makes cheese that has earned national and worldwide recognition.
First place awards in national cheese competitions, and this last year we just won a silver medal at the World Cheese Show. It's amazing when you think it's being made in a converted garage, basically.
Even with a good reputation, one would wonder how small farms can get much business in this current economy and in this era of mass-produced food. In fact, Harley Farms had a taste of that kind of commercial distribution.
All of a sudden had like 350 or 60 goats, and we had distributors on the East Coast, the Midwest, Southern California, and then we would send it by truck, we would put it on airplanes, and then they would distribute it to specialty food stores in their area. Through a distributor, it's potential that they could sit in a warehouse for 2 weeks before it even goes to the store, and it just made me feel bad because we put all this effort into the health of the goats, the feed, their environment where they live, the people that work with the goats and make the cheese, and for it to sit in a shelf for 2 weeks was really, it's almost upsetting, really. It wasn't worth it.
Keep it small and keep it personal, and that's Dee's feelings. Every piece of cheese that she puts in that cheese shop is personal. That's one of the reasons why she quit the distribution of the cheeses, because it's more personal to do it right from here.
So we made a very, very, very daring business decision, because we basically got rid of 80% of our sales. It was a very, very, very tough 6 months, but we got through it, and now it's a new year, and January and February we are re-emerging now with the baby goats have been born, we're starting to milk and make cheese again, so now our season is starting again. Money is not, I mean, you have to have money to sustain your business, so money is a part of it. It's never been the folk, what's the money? That's not, when we wake up every morning, that's not what it's about. It's about living the life.
Oh, wow.
That's priceless.
Harley Farms therefore pulled out of all non-local distributors. How could Harley Farms still stand as a small, sustainable farm in the midst of our economy?
What's interesting about the economy right now is people are staying at home, they're eating at home, they're spending more time with their family, and they're not going away for the weekend. They might not be going and staying in posh hotels or whatever, but they're doing day trips. And so we were popular before, but we've seen a huge surge of people coming to the farm now, because people are using places like ours to come for the day.
Chloe is a high school senior working at Harley Farms.
People are just attracted to the fact that we are green and they are watching their money more, but they're coming to a place where they're not like wasting it. They know that they're spending their money on something that everybody puts hard work into. It's a fun family trip to do that's not, spending a lot.
Yeah, it's worth the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Enjoying the cheese, going downstairs and eating. I mean, if you think of it that way, it's not a lot of money. And that's why people come out. And especially when they look online now and see all these babies. And what small child doesn't want to get into a pen with, 25 newborns or 4-day-old little kids. You know, it's a beautiful thing. It's life, and it's the cycle of life.
Julie's another high schooler working at the farm.
Plus, like, farming is like the basis of like life. Like, you need farming in order to live, and a lot of people like the fact that like stuff is like homegrown here, and like everything's just handmade. And I've heard a lot of people say that they really like how this is such a like small community, and like everybody helps out here, and a lot of people are drawn to that fact.
It's just real.
Yeah.
Like everybody has to put their hands in for the whole town to work. It's kind of an effort for us to stay a community. We all have to kind of help each other out.
You're actually invited into this world, but this world actually doesn't stop just because you're here. And so we're not an entertainment, we're not a petting zoo, we're a real working farm that has a rhythm and a very strong routine to the day, every single day. We continue, and we will always be very conscious of that and very adamant about that we are not an entertainment petting zoo. We are a real farm, and that comes first, without a doubt.
I'm so attached to the dill log, which I use on fish, and my chive log, which I use on pork chops. It's hard for me to say which one I really like.
I like the creamy walnut and the garlic herb from Mosh Blanc. Those are my favorite.
I think the feta is pretty good. There's nothing better than a proper tomato grown in your back garden, sliced up with feta, fresh basil and olive oil. Actually maybe even oregano. Unbelievable. The best.